we have the thing is the strategical plan looked really, really good, right? So we have few things we need to do.
Now we're live, just FYI.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I don't know. We get to talk about that later. This is here.
I think we're ready for a great presentation this evening, Abdi, for everyone that's watching out there and listening to us live. So it's going to be a great event.
Absolutely, absolutely. So whenever you're ready, let me know and we get going.
We will go ahead and we can get started. We are live now. What I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and get recording, and let me go ahead and admit Miss Dina that is waiting to come into the room.
Okay. And then we can stream, you know.
Yes, we are streaming. So, okay. And I am going to go ahead, go ahead and record. Okay. And it is your show, Mr. Abdi Lejavardi.
Well, good evening. I am Abdi Lajavardi, and tonight Dr. Terry Ferris and I get to host you to talk about professional mindset. So thank you very much for joining us and spending the next few hours with us. And would like to tell you a little bit about American Heritage College and what professional knowledge broker and what professional career coaches are, and how professional mindset and few other boot camps that we have in support of these programs work. First of all, let me share with you, as I mentioned, my name is Abdi Lajavadi. I have been in the United States since 1975. I came here from Iran, and at the time I had a high school diploma, but didn't speak any English. Not that I speak any of it or much of it today, but uh, if I didn't learn English, that was one of my major challenges that I came to the United States. Then I couldn't, go to school, get my engineering degree, my graduate degree in computer science, have the number of careers that I have had. Uh, I've had four different distinct career in different areas, and I just don't know how to retire. I love what I do. I love the people that I work with. I am privileged and honored to serve the people that I get to serve, and all of these couldn't have happened if it wasn't because of a lot of wonderful people that along the way gave me, and as you can see and hear from Terry and others that I have as my colleagues that work with us in sharing with you, uh, the careers and the opportunities that we have. So, in a way, tonight and throughout our programs that we have in American Heritage College, our first and foremost objective is to give back to individuals, to share with them what has happened in our life, what has helped us to get to where we are, and what we know that are the tools that we have used in serving and helping other people to find, first and foremost, happiness. And secondly, through that, a way to be happier, not only at work, at home, and be more fulfilled. So the professional knowledge broker is something that we call ourselves. So to us, first and foremost, is what is a professional? How do we define ourselves as a professional? And then how do we define ourselves as a knowledge broker? How do we reach out to people to tell them what it is that we do and how we can serve. So throughout these four different distinct programs, like the first one that we have tonight, we have tonight professional mindset. So in a sense, we're thinking about how do we, you know, control our mind. And you may say, well, what do you mean? How do you control my mind? I control my mind all the time. I mean, who else is going to control my mind? Well, let's say you get to control your thoughts. Your thoughts may be going all over the place. Actually, most individuals, through many, many studies, uh, 50% of the time they are thinking of things that has happened in the past or in the future. Only half of the time that they're really present. And that's not, just you and I, that's everybody. Now imagine how much miscommunications happens every day at home, at work, all over the place because people are not there connecting with each other, right? So how do we become aware of where we are and how we are paying attention, right? So professional mindset is learning about paying attention, right? I mean, remember from the first time that we were born, everybody wanted to get our attention. Our parents wanted to get our attention. If you have children, you know what it is. You need their attention. You're finding all the way, how I can get their attention. Teachers, number one issue. Well, if I could get their attention, right? But maybe nobody teaches us how to pay attention, right? So part of being mindful is learning about how to pay attention, how to be in the present. And so that's the kind of things we get to talk about, to learn about what it takes to be professional, how to use our positive, better version of ourselves, not only at work, but in life, and how to create a brand and a mission for ourselves that we can work on. So that's what professional mindset is going to be. The next workshop we have is going to be about multiple intelligence, right? So multiple intelligence focuses on what we're going to learn about ourselves and others and how best we can create a team and how can we better serve our team or our clients that we come in contact with. And that's really a wonderful, wonderful workshop that I recommend. For whatever reason, you don't get anything to do. That's a really important workshop. A lot of research has gone to it, and a lot of teachers and coaches, consultants can really benefit from. Then we have a big part, marketing. How do you market yourself? How do you brand yourself? How do you get out using all the social medias in the way that you can reach your clientele and you can tell them what you are and what you can do for, right? In this day and age, post-pandemic, in a new era, it is important for all professionals know how to be present in the digital. So that's the third workshop. And the fourth one is on how to be a professional knowledge group, right? So what we want to learn and see what professional knowledge broker is, it comes to a purpose to know how to use professional mindset, how to use multiple intelligence, how to use your marketing to be able to best serve your clients in the way that you not only rely on your own knowledge, but you require all other knowledges that are relevant to your particular clients to teach them how to be the best version. So that's the objective of the program. And if we're talking about professional career coaches, the first three workshop is the same path with professional mindset, multiple intelligence, marketing yourself in the digital age. And then the fourth module would be how to be a career coach. and we're really, really excited. This is great time, and we're in a verge of looking at things in a way that we want to build the word and eat, right? So now that we have a little understanding, that kind of gives people to know what you should expect out of this workshop, this boot camp. We're going to have a little different approach to what we do, as we are going to have breakout sessions. We will have interaction and ask you questions to think about the information that you shared with you, learn from each other, and then end of the day, not only we want you to have the knowledge that can, in a sense, make you to live a happier and more purposeful life through not only your work, but everything you do, but at the same time, have some action, right? Things that you can put in place right away. So with that said, let me share with you. There is
Mr.
no lie.
Lejavardi, can you please share your screen for the audience to see?
All right. Please let me know when you see my screen. Are you able to see my screen or no?
Not at the moment.
Oh, I am sharing. Are you sharing something? Maybe I cannot share.
No, I am not sharing.
Oh, then can I ask you to please go to our um, drive, and if you would please pick up the presentation on mindfulness, and if you don't mind, try to search it. I mean, research it or share it from your screen, because I don't know, for whatever reason it doesn't show up
Okay.
on the screen. I'm really sorry for that. But while Dr. Terrace works on getting the PowerPoint presentation, uh, on the screen, and things are happening, I think you can see that. As I was mentioning to you, all different life, if you think about it, everybody's life is made up of happy days and sad. Now, some life have more happy than sad compared to others. But there is no life that is only made up of one uh, set of events. And that's what makes life, uh, different and unusual and exciting and worth living, right? Because we don't know what we're going to have uh, the next day, right? That's how life comes about. It changes every day, and that is the beauty while we are here on this earth, because there is no 2 seconds that are going to be exactly the same, right? And now people, they say this is post-pandemic, but show me 2 seconds, 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks that have been exactly the same. Sometimes we feel our life is just repetition of the day before, a week before, a month before, right? And a lot of it is maybe because of the way we approach our life, right? Because there is a lot of studies. There's several studies, very famous studies, started back in early 2000s with several different Ivy League schools, that they were researching to see where people's, thoughts, or where are they when they came up with this test that gave everybody an app to download. and had about 20,000 people around the world to participate. And again, there've been several different studies. And throughout the days, they would, contact the individual 4 or 5 times and ask them, what are you thinking about? Or what are you doing right now? And how do you feel? You're happy, sad, anxious. What they find out actually, half of the time, almost half of people are thinking about something about the past or something that they like to do in the future, or they're planning about, worrying about things that hasn't happened, or dealing with things that has happened in the past, but the feeling and the pain and that still continuing. Many of us, we are reliving events that has happened many years ago. And we just keep repeating it in our mind, right? A lot of that is because we don't know ourselves as well as we should know, right? And mindfulness is about that, is about awareness, is about coming to the moment, right? What has happened in the past, good or bad, you can't do anything about it. It's not coming. It's gone, right? And the future is not here. So it doesn't matter worrying about a future that hasn't happened. Uh, if you're worried about, let's say, getting fired the next week because you have these, well, you have a week of employment, enjoy it and see what you can do. Or you're worried about this is going to happen and I'm going to die because of it, and something horrible is going to happen, or a loved one is, well, they're alive now. Why don't you enjoy them and appreciate it, including your own life, right? We do these because that's our nature. Let me ask you a question. If you think about, uh, let's say the last, 6 months that we've been dealing with this coronavirus and everything else that everybody around the world has dealt. If you think about it, this is a choice that we have in life all the time. Are we going to be a builder, or are we going to be a destroyer? And I want you to think about it, because this is the choice that we make all the time. You see, to build something, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of resources, it takes a lot of planning, it does take a lot of effort. Look at a house, how it's built. But when you want to destroy it, it doesn't take that long. It takes fraction of the effort, the money, the time that is required to build something. So when we look at our life, or we look at how we deal with others, right? Because it's easier when we think about how our impact is in life, right? If we are a builder and we know it's harder to do being a builder, we're talking about building people, being genuine, interested in well-being of whoever it is that we're coming in contact. If it's our children, if it's our spouse, if it's our clients, it doesn't matter. If we are a builder, we have to find something that we can help them to build on themselves, to build that day, put a smile on their face, right? As being a builder. But you have to be genuine. You have to know and have an interest on the person to know how you can encourage them, how you can give them a positive energy, a dose of inspiration. How to be destroyed is nothing. You know people. I am sure you know people in your circle that they are so good. They can take people apart in just a matter of minutes. They can tell you what's wrong with you. Whatever you talk about, they will pick the angle that belittles who you are, whoever it is that they're talking. They are so good that they have a reputation. You don't expect anything else from them. But I have news, you know, we all are destroyers at different times. We are destroyers when we are too busy to listen to people. We're destroyers when we are tired, we're hungry, we're depressed, we just don't pay attention to it. And what we say and what we do, because we don't have the time to spend any effort, and it's more, from a destroyer perspective. And in reality, if we do it long enough, then we become just like a person that we all thought about, right? Those people didn't decide to be a destroyer all their life, but they did it and they did it, and all of a sudden we all gave them a reputation, and that's what you expect from them. And if they do anything different, you would be surprised, right? So how can we be Dr. Ferris, can we? Yes, thank you. So how can, in a sense, we build our life in a way that we can be a builder, right? Because building, it can be building ourselves while we're building people at home, right? Because a lot of times, many of us have been told things by our loved one, by maybe our parents, maybe some of their family members, maybe our teachers, maybe managers and individuals throughout our life that have put these labels that are really causing us to go and repeat these circles over and over and over again. How many of you, I want you to think about it. How many of you do you feel there were time in your life that you could have gotten the job or asked the person to go out with you, or moved on purchasing the many of the opportunities that you feel you had in your life, but somehow you didn't take advantage. And now that you look back, you feel like you really should have. Let me see in the chat. Have you guys been in that situation? You see, that's really human condition, and we've been in those kind of situations a lot of times, and those are nothing more than just playing that recording that is nothing other than being afraid, right? You see, fear is a wonderful, wonderful thing for human beings to have, because if we didn't have this feeling of fear, we could go and pet, let's say, a snake or a tiger or something else. So this fear, it helps us, protects us, but it's not us. And our mind can go so crazy that we don't know the difference between our feeling and us, right? So what do we do? How do we deal with it? We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but let's talk about power of appreciation, right? Here's the thing. In the West, in especially modern days, people have a lot of emphasis on recognition. Recognition is extremely important. Don't get me wrong. I mean, people, when they are recognized, they're motivated, they do more, they can inspire other people. But there are a lot of study, because this has a really impact at workplace all over the place, right? So there has been a lot of studies, and they know benefits of recognition. So as I mentioned, in the West and in the more modern world, uh, recognition is really what we sometimes mix with appreciation, and they're two different. And that's what I want you. Recognition can only be given by very top people, right? So if you're in a company, not everybody can recognize everybody. It has to be the president or a senior level management that can, recognize somebody. Or in a school, a teacher or a principal can recognize somebody, right? And the head of a government, the president, when he recognize people, so you have to do some extraordinary, depends on where you are, some extraordinary things to get recognized, right? And that's very important. There are studies and they show it really helps not only that individual, but the side effect as motivation for everybody else. And that's understandable. Now the study says the individual actually gets a boost of energy, almost 40% more positive energy because of that recognition. Other peers maybe about 10 to 15% for a period of, depends on what it is, for a period of time, right? Anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. Well, let's talk about what is appreciation. Appreciation is when people appreciate what they have, each other, right? You appreciate your family for no other reason that you're your family. You appreciate the moon, you appreciate the sun, you appreciate the tree, you appreciate all these wonderful things you have, right? If we learn to appreciate one another, we appreciate what we have in our community. There is actually a study that a whole group gets a surge that is 3 times higher than if we only recognize individuals at different times. And the power of appreciation is everybody can share that appreciation with one another. Right? I want to talk to you about power of energy. Right? So everybody talks about positivity, be positive, positive energy, positive attitude. And really, there is a lot of good things within that. They're all religion in the world. They're all, scholars in the world talk about the value of positivity. But there is a lot of noise as well. Hooray, hooray! Let's just pump people up to just be happy, and they have no idea why they're happy, right? And they're just not facing reality, and that's not true happiness, right? So part of getting to part of appreciating, getting to a sense of happiness is really appreciating ourselves, right? If you think about it, every person knows that there are few people in your life that have made major impact in your life to where you are. Please take a moment and jot down, let's just spend like 2 minutes and jot down the name of people that you feel have had major positive impact in your life. It could be from your childhood, it could be a teacher, a family member, somebody at work. But jot down people that you think have had major positive impact in you. So I'm going to give you a rule of 5. You have it? Did you write down? Did you think about those people? Starting tonight, and for next 30 nights. I'd like you to try it. And if it doesn't work, don't do it. But this is what I would say a power of 5. Once you wrote down who are the people that they have had that, you know, impact in you, at night before you sleep, send them a positive energy, a prayers, a wish for their well-being, their sustainability, wherever they are, and let them know that you appreciate. That's number 1. Number 2, I want you to appreciate yourself. I want you to think about the fact that you are a person that is here and works very hard to be your best version. So number 2 is you appreciating you. Number 3, look at people that you love, your family and friends that are close to you. People that really make your life to be what it is, the sweet, loving, caring people that make up your network of your surroundings. So that's number 3. So far, so good. Number 4, I want you to think about the people that you work with. And I want you to think about them. And I want you to think about how much you appreciate them, because they, together with you, are making this nucleus of group that are out there making their product and services to count. And then I want you to appreciate everybody else out there that is making this world a better. 5 rules of appreciation. Do it every night before you go to sleep for 30 days. And then tell me if your life has gotten any better. And I would love to hear about your experiences and what you see. Dr. Terrace, if we can go to the next slide, please. All right. Trees. You know, you can look at anything in the nature. Everything in this nature, this universe, this wonderful place that we are a part of. Everything there has a purpose. You've been told that, you have read it in holy books, you have been told by all kinds of people. But it is true. Everything has a purpose in this world. And sometimes if we think about it, if we really pay attention to what these are, we may be able to learn something from the nature that we can use in our own life. You see, farmers are very wise because they get to work with the nature. A tree starts from a seed, right? It grows roots, as you can see in that picture. And then it grows the trunk, right? And as it grows and it grows and it grows with pride and mightiness, then it gives. And it gives and it gives and it gives. It gives to all of us. It gives us humans, it gives fruit, it gives us shade. It is good for all elements of the nature. And it does it proudly in face of all diversity. All the rain, all the snow, the harsh weather, the tree, as long as it's standing, is true to his mission. And it continuously stays strong, gives love, while stays very proud of who or she or it, in this case of the tree, it is. So we take that elements from a tree. It's like we want to have a mission statement for ourselves. We want to tell the world what makes me to be me. What is Abdi? What Abdi is different than Abby and Jack and Jim and Terry and all these other names out there. We are close to 7.8 billion people. We all are unique individuals. In this universe, there are not two trees or two leaves that are exactly the same. Why would we think two people would be exact? That wouldn't be as nice of a word as we have. And that makes it a very unique and special. So part of what we need to know is who we are or who we striving to be, right? Some things that may have skipped our attention to this point, right? And it's easy because from the time that we are born, we are trying to please different people. You know, we want to make sure our parents, you know, are pleased. You know, when you see a kid that smiles, when the parents are doing something, you can keep on doing the same thing. And then we go to school, they you know, want to shape us in a certain way, and then we go to work and so on and so forth. So we are programmed in the sense to do what we think is expected of us in different places, in different positions in life. That's what is taught to us. What are the best practices for every position that you are going to be? Girls, boys, in this stage, this stage, this stage. And that's not bad, don't get me wrong. But what is really left behind is what it is that makes us happy, what makes us unique. You know, the fact that other people are happy, our parents are happy, or our colleagues are happy, our neighbor is happy, those are fine. We don't want to, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong about that. But the fact is, what about me? But that comes in, maybe I don't know what I, because and maybe the other people don't know what I haven't been able to tell the people in the world or tell the universe, just like the tree does, that's what my role is, or what I am here to do, right? What's my purpose in life? So let's go to the next slide and see how can we create a mission statement for ourselves, right? So when we talk about a tree's role, you see, it thinks about all the different aspects of what it is that their role is going to be, right? So as human beings, we have family and friends, right? We have our careers, our profession, but then we have what we call community legacy, right? I mean, things that really are things that we don't do for benefit of ourselves or benefit of somebody that is close to us. We're doing it for benefit of community. We're doing it for benefit of mankind, right? We're doing it in a way that we want this world to be a better place, right? We do what really is human kind of activities, right? Because in reality, there are three kind of activities that we do. One, we gather stuff, right? Just like any other creature in the world, we want to just gather stuff, you know, food, you know, in our case, we need knowledge, you know, to eat, but we get married, so we get children, and we get houses, we get these. So these are assets. We just keep on, part of our work is in getting these kind of things, right? And another activities comes in when you have this stuff. The other activities, I'm going to protect this stuff, right? So I got them. That's one activity. Now that other activity, I want to protect the stuff that I have. I want to protect my kid. I want to protect my wife, my husband, my this, my house, my car, my work, right? That's the second part. And there's third kind of activities that we do as humans. And interestingly enough, it's not the first or second. It's not about my assets, and it's not about protecting my assets. That third kind of activities is what makes us human. That's what makes us feel good about who we are and that's what we call community legacy. So the way I want to encourage you to think about is, oh, one day have to leave, right? And if there is a discussion that you believe you're going to have with someone, either maker, whatever belief you have, or you want to leave a legacy. You want it to be something that what would family and friends say about you? What would your colleagues, your people that work would say about you? And what are the people in the community would say about you? If you can gather those things that you would want people to say about you, what kind of family, friends you are, what kind of professional, what kind of human, put those together, then you can come up with a mission statement that is yours and unique, and you can live to it and show it as what's unique about you. I'm going to give you some tools on how to go about some of this. So any questions so far? Before we go any farther, put in the chat if you have any question, and I'm going to go in to the next slide. And we are streaming these in a number of different social media. And Dr. Ferris just put in on the chat as well that please go ahead and log in to the link that he's making available to you, so you can then join our breakout room. All right. So what is your mission statement? So how do we go about coming up with this mission statement? We said they got 3 different parts, and then how do we create? So I have a little worksheet that I'm gonna share with you later on that you're going to use in developing these. And if you don't mind, let's go on to the next slide. Okay. All right. Well, this is on the way. How do we better ourselves? If you come up with a version that you decide, I'm going to give you the worksheet, so you're going to go work on it, and then you're going to come up with these, mission statement, and then you want to do some things and make sure this is really you, right? Because you can play you like nobody else can. But when you try to be somebody else, that's where everybody gets into trouble, right? So one of the things we can do in keeping focus with ourselves and others, if we want to become a builder, right? I'm going to give you certain things that you are going to use as highlight of the day. Okay, I want you to write this down. Highlights of the day. You remember I gave you a suggestion for appreciation. Yeah, the 5 areas of appreciation. Before you go to sleep, use those and find out how it really helps you, right? But another thing I want to share with you is a 3-step, and I somehow left off number 3 out there, but I think by itself it says what it is. So number 1 is nutrition, right? Our body is with us while we are alive, right? This body is at our disposal and it really is something that we need to take care of. And nutrition and having things that is good for your body is something that everybody tells you. You know that. So I'm not going to go on to a discussions of what are the appropriate nutrition that each individual should have and so on and so forth. What I want you to think about, what is the highlight of the day when you think about nutrition that you have, right? And I want you to think about that. If you had nothing that you want to kind of write down in your journal or in your mind, and only thing you had that you thought it was nutritious was a glass of water. I want you to, if that is what it is, I want you to really enjoy that glass of water. Right? Let's do a little exercise. We need to bring our mind to our body. And I talked about how our mind is half of the time in the past or half of the time in the future, worrying about things that hasn't happened, or thinking about the bills that we have to pay, or thinking about the supper that I am just missing, or things like that. But if we want to bring it back, there is exercise that we need to do, and it's really the heart of this what we call mindful. And mindful is a fancy way of saying meditation. Meditation is bringing yourself to the present. Is concentration, is attention. And when you say professional mindfulness, is a positive attention, right? You see, our breath is something that everybody knows that if we forget to breathe, we die, right? But it is something that if it was up to us, we would have died, long time, because we forget so many things. Our mind is going all over the place. Our breath goes in and out automatically. Our heart pumps blood back and forth and oxygen through all, different parts of our body automatically. Because if it was up to us, we would forget. So when you are having a pear or an apple or an orange, think about how it's going and entering your body, how it really makes every part of your body fuel and see and feel that process. That adds so much more to whatever you're putting in your body. And think about your breath. Every time you want to come back to the present, you can do that by taking deep breath in and holding it up. But think about it and have your thought on your breath from, goes from nose all the way in, and how it goes through your lungs, your stomach, and, feel it. This is easy way to bring yourself back to the present. And if your mind wanders again and goes somewhere, that's okay, bring it back. Because that's how you can be present. Next time you want to have an important conversation with your manager, with your customers, with your spouse, with your friend, make sure you're present and demonstrate by getting your mind to come back to now, right? So the idea is not that I'm going to have something that is good for my body. I am going to actually think about how it enters my body, how it gets to different parts of my body. That's how I want to think about nutrition, and I want to think about what was I felt the most nutritious thing I used for the strength. We all need the strength. We live for a short period of time, but if you don't do something to strengthen this body, you know, you're gonna lose it. So, so keep it strong. So you don't go to gym and pump iron. If you can, that's great. But you should do something, even if it is 5 minutes of doing something. 1 minute, one day you may do an hour, but you want to think about what did I do to help my strength today. And keep in mind, it can be physical, it could be mental, doesn't matter. But something you did to strengthen your body. You want to be able to think about what did I do? If I went up and down the stairs 5 times, I want to be thinking about it when I'm going up and down the stairs. So I'm doing this to strengthen my body. Now, inspiration. Third one. Now, this is really the one that you need to look at, see something that's going to inspire you. But this one, you're going to have to give it back to somebody else. If you were inspired by something today, make sure you share that inspiration with someone. If you saw a butterfly, if you saw a flower, if you saw the act of a kindness, whatever you saw that you were inspired, you read a book, you saw a video clip, share it with somebody and say, hey, I was inspired when I saw it. What do you think? Right? So those are 3 things that you can do every day. If you think about it and say, hey, I'm getting up today and I'm going out there, I'm going to find 3 things at the end of the day to kind of look at what did I do to help me with the nutritious strength and inspiration, right? So those are 3 important things that you can put in your life and see what the benefits are. Let's go to the next slide. And we're just about ready to get on to our what we call the breakout session. So in the breakout session, you're going to be with a group of colleagues. You're going to spend maybe a minute or 2 introducing yourself, tell individual what your name is, tell where you are living from, and at the same time, the goal is to tell us what do you think about professional mindset. Do you think this would be something that can help you in your life? And the assignment is think about what are the 3 things, 3 characteristics that makes you unique. So you need to kind of write these things and spend maybe a couple of minutes, a minute or 2 to just write these things down, right? Now, this is your best thinking, this is who I am, right? The idea is you want to go and ask 3 members of your family or friends that know you the best, at least 5 years, right? And again, people that have worked, with you want to ask them same 3 questions. And those questions are, what are the 3 characteristics that you think best represent me, right? You don't tell them what you thought was unique about you. You want to listen to them, and you don't want to argue with them. You just want to get a good understanding, because that's what you think you represent. That's what people you think of you. But when you do the inventory and find out these people that know you the best, if that are not the same as what you think you are, then you can think about, hey, let me really take the one that I know it is me, and the areas that I really want to strive to become, and come up from that perspective to then have a mission statement that what matters you know, uh, most in your life, right? You want to put down in one and two, and whatever you end up that mission statement is, you want it to drive you to what matters most to you in your life, right? So that would be your first uh, exercise. We're gonna spend about, let's see, it's almost 3 o'clock. We have about 2:54 right now. So we're gonna spend about uh, 20 minutes in the breakout session, and then we'll come back and we'll find out what happened, and we will then get ready for our next segment of the presentation. And you're gonna love Dr. Ferris and what he has to share with you to give you a good insight about how to deal with things as day to day when we need mindfulness. Thank you so much. And I will see you back here in 20 minutes.